We are talking about how to stop being lazy and how to get rich now today. And I'm going to give you some rules. You got to understand, I'm not just winging this. Listen, my son is young, but he's highly, highly experienced and he learns. And if you could just take that mantra. So I got a lot more years on him. I'm 53 years old and I'm telling you, I'm going to give you my life lessons. And if you were my son, or my daughter, or my aunt, or my wife, I would sit down and tell you this exact thing and I would not change it. So let's jump into that. And then I'm going to jump into questions because I want to help out as many people as possible. So let's get into it. By the way, if you guys want to learn how to do what we're doing, go over to, let me pull it up here, freewholesaling.com. It's scrolling on the bottom. I'm going to leave it up for just a second. I don't like too many distractions on it. We don't run ads on this channel or anything like that. We recommend products we use in our business and stuff help to you. We actually train them on you. Knock yourself out. It's not a requirement in our business. So guys, make sure you are subscribed. And please, if you like the content, smash that like button. So let's get into it. We've all been stuck in the laziness, the analysis by paralysis, and it's always the same thing. So I want you to understand this first. There's only 3 phases you can be in life. You can look behind everything that's happened to you where most people are stuck in life. And that's what gets you into depression. Sorry, that's the fact. Something didn't go right and you can't let it go. Or you have anxiety, which is the fear of looking into the future, which paralyzes most people, gives them analysis paralysis. And then you have the present moment, which nobody ever fulfills it. It's challenging. Like, how can I be in this moment? I'm always thinking about the past and thinking about the future. And so you gotta first, before you get into your laziness thing, is where are you on that chart a majority of your time? If you're constantly thinking about crap that happened to you in the past, you can't be in the present and you can't plan for a future. So you're going to have to address that. I'm not a psychologist. Honestly, I can just give you life experience. So the first thing we're going to do is when we talk about that, first identify which timeline you spend most of your time in. And the more honest you are with this, the more progress you can make. So I'm not here to diagnose people with ADHD. You know how I feel about that. Sometimes I just talk and talk, but I want to help out as many people as possible. So the first thing we got to do, we talk about lazy and switching over to getting rich. You guys got to fix your self-talk with yourself. I'm telling you, man, the person that you talk to the most is yourself. It's absolutely crazy and nobody ever addresses this. Do you know you have over 70,000 thoughts a day? I mean, and predominantly 95% of them are everything that's happened in your previous experience, like the day before, the week before, the year before. That's crazy. And the thing is, you can fight this all you want. You can't overly control your thoughts. You just got to kind of let them flow. So a lot of you fight with your thoughts, but here's the problem is your body is naturally wired for the negativity. It's the truth. And what happens is when something goes wrong, say a deal falls apart, you beat yourself up. Now it's okay to stroke yourself once, beat yourself up once. But the reality is once you start that pattern, it just becomes redundant and it doesn't stop. And the reality is you guys are your own worst critic. You beat yourself up. You're your own worst cheerleader. And until you fix this, you have zero shot at moving forward. So how do I address it? Number 1, recognize it. You can't recognize every thought or you'll go crazy. But when you start having negative thoughts, go, okay, write them down. Why do I keep saying like this? Recognize it, forgive yourself, and move on and come up with a playful, a kind of comical thought. So if a deal goes bad, you can just say like, just go, listen, that was the funkiest looking house I ever bought. I should have known, and just kind of make a joke at yourself. Like, let's not buy funny looking houses anymore and find the lesson in it and learn and go forward. But if you have the same redundant, nasty talk to yourself, you can never fix it. Guys, I'm guilty of this all the time. I got to sit there. When you write it down and you recognize it, oh my God, because you don't even know you're doing it. Stop beating yourself up. It's rule number 1. You have to become your biggest cheerleader. Replace these thoughts. You should be your own best friend. And if you don't know how to learn to love yourself, you've got to do that first in life. Okay, I'm a student of this. I'm not a master of it. I'm a student of it because if you don't take control, they will fester and get you out of control. And that's how you get stuck. Analysis by paralysis, and you don't get stuff done. So identify it, write it down, and address it. The second one is you guys got to stop feeding your mind crap. Sorry, it's the truth. I've done this for a long time. Your mind consumes everything that's delivered to you. So if you watch 3 or 4 hours of TV today, all those commercials and stuff, that's why they do commercials, because they work. It's called hypnosis. I love when people go, Rick, I don't believe in hypnosis. I go, okay. Everything in life is hypnosis. If you accept it or not, it's just completely up to you. The problem is you don't even know you're being hypnotized by TV ads, by messages. Like, I can see the message a mile away in any type of media now. Like, it took me a long time to understand it. Everybody's got an agenda. Everyone's trying to get something accomplished. So if you don't feed your mind, other people are going to feed it for you, and they're going to give give you their agenda, and it's not going to fulfill you, and it's going to hurt you. So if you're going to watch TV, we all watch TV. I like my sporting event. Can't watch the Dolphins anymore, but I try to record them. So at least I get through the commercials and I can block off time for doing it. And then go, listen, I'm not going to spend more than an hour and a half doing it. The problem is you ever watch TV and it's like 4 hours have gone by? It happens all the time. This whole Netflix binge watching thing, guys, I think it's decaying society. I'm sorry. It's just stop watching the movie and go make your own movie. Like, go make your own movie. It's okay to watch a movie to pass time, but like if that's all you do, you're going to be stuck there. So go out and be the star in your own show. Go out and be the hero. Go take care of your kids. Go take care of your family above your wildest expectation. But what you put in your mind, like think about this. If you're trying to become more physically fit and more healthy, you are what you eat. You are what you watch. It also goes with music and everything else you do. So it's also the people you talk to. So be a guard of your mind and just don't let everybody enter into it. And do not let anybody in your head that doesn't belong there. You're the only person that can allow them. It's up to you if you're going to let them in or not. So once we're moving forward, I don't want to be lazy anymore. What's the first thing we have to do after we correct our self-talk? We feed our mind the right diet, which is going to take some time, by the way, guys. Okay. You have to start with willpower because that's all you have. And all willpower it's a daily forced action. So if we talk about wholesaling, I'm going to make 200 calls today. I'm going to do them from 9 to 12 or whatever your timestamp is. And that's what I'm going to do. And you're going to force yourself to do it. It's going to be wildly uncomfortable. You might cry the first 2 phone calls. And then once you get 3 or 4 calls into it, it's like, why did I wait to do this? The anxiety alone takes most people out in cold calling. So you got to start with willpower. Here's the challenge with willpower. It's temporary. It will get the wheels started. It will not keep you in drive. Sorry. So what you have to do is convert that willpower. What do we convert it to? We're going to convert willpower to discipline. Take any action, do it religiously with willpower for 30 days, and you have a shot. Because the difference, discipline means it's automatic. It's non-negotiable. Willpower means I'm going to try to force myself to do this. The problem is willpower will fade. It always fades. It doesn't matter what it is. And the minute you start making it automatic, like for me, working out, if I don't work out, I feel lost. It's just so ingrained in my body. It's a discipline because I get such joy and pleasure out of it because I know what the end result is with it. And that's how I treated my wholesaling. It was painful at first, but I got into a regimen and I adjusted as I went along. So you need to convert willpower to discipline. How do you do it? 30 days. They tell you 21, I'm telling you 30 because 21, you're going to have like a bad day or two in there. So I wanted to put in a full 30 days. Here's the next most important thing. You ready? Stop negotiating with yourself. Why? You set out to do a goal, a realistic goal. You want to achieve something. So say, hey, listen, I'm going to buy my first property. As you said, I'll do whatever it takes. But as soon as you got in the fight, you're like, I don't want to make that many calls. They were so mean to me. Now you're negotiating. And the worst part is you're negotiating with yourself. You know both sides of it and you are going to give in. So what you have to do is you have to separate mind from body. Let me give you an example. If you want to go work out and you say, I'm going to work out 4 days a week. There's no 3 to 4. It's 4. Pick one. That's it. So Monday you worked out great. Tuesday, Wednesday you skipped it. Thursday you don't quite feel like it. Now you got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Well, it's the weekend. I can't do it. Like, I don't feel like doing it. I'm going to go out with my buddies. Stop it. You treat yourself first. You have to take care of yourself first. Remember, the flight attendant says, yeah, in the event that there's a depressurization of the cabin, you got to put your oxygen mask on first. Guys, stop negotiating with yourself because a lot of times your body will tell the mind what to do, not the other way around. And if you're in that situation, you need to address it now. This happens in wholesaling. This is not just about physical fitness and diet and weight management. When it comes to your business, when you set stuff and then you negotiate and waver from it, you're never going to get it done. And if I can drive this one point home is stop negotiating with yourself. Write it on your blackboard, write it on your whiteboard, let everyone know this is going to happen no matter what. Because the difference between people who get stuff done and the people who don't, the lazy and the rich, is they both want to do the same things. They both set the same task. The difference is the lazy people do it when they want to do it, and when they don't feel like doing it, they let their emotions take over and they don't do it. Rich people do it no matter what. End of story. I'm getting it done. And guys, there are days I just don't want to work. I'm just like you, but I have commitments. I have employees. I have people depending on me. And if I want to create the legacy I want to do, I've got to suck it up and get going. I'm not talking about if you're deathly ill, but there's all days we just don't feel like doing stuff. But if you set out and said, hey, this is what I'm going to do in wholesaling, and you negotiate with yourself, you're never going to get it done. And the thing is, once you negotiate with yourself, it becomes a habit. Now you have to unpack and unwind that habit for 30 days to convert the willpower to discipline. So I'm telling you, you're all dealing with this because I struggled with this a lot of my wholesaling career. I would be phenomenal and then I got lazy and then it's like I went through all this stuff. And that was all in my first 5 to 7 years. And a lot of you are going through that right now. Let me know in the comments if you are, because I'm here to help you out. I'm not calling you out. I'm just telling you what you need to do. I'm going to keep moving here because I'm going to take calls. Okay. Boy, this is going to be a tough one. Let me just spit it out now. Stop being a jack of all trades. I am the master of jack of all trades. When I grew up, I didn't have a choice. I had to help out around the house. I'm not going to get into like my personal things, but I had to do a lot of the fixing of the house. I had to like figure things out and we just didn't have a lot of money. So when I became one of the men of the house, I had to figure out how to hang fans, how to do stuff all when I was a very young man. And I came really handy to the point everyone would call me, hey, Rick, can you help me hang a fan? Hey, Rick, can you help me strap this up? Hey, Rick, can you help me fix this on a boat or a car? And I learned a little bit about everything. And I'm here to tell you down the road, it is a nightmare because I can pretty much, are you one of these people that you feel like you can do anything? It becomes like a habit. So I'll watch a tradesman do a job. I'm like, okay, I know how to do that. You're not going to learn it doing it once, especially electricity, guys. If you get shocked, you understand, especially on 220. So the reality is a lot of my life, I thought learning everything, it's a survival mode. And what happens is if there's ever a hurricane or you got stuck on an island, I know I'm going to live. I know how to hunt fish. I know how to do everything. I know how to dam water and do everything. But in the reality of the business world, it is of zero value. Every now and then in a pinch, it's like, hey, Rick, can you hand this fan? We got someone to come look at the property in an hour. We're going to make $100,000. I will fix that fan. But the problem is you never stop and it becomes a massive addiction. And so what you have to do is, and you guys will see this in my son, I didn't let him become the jack of all trades. You know what he did? He became the master of wholesaling. It's all he knows. And in his short career, going on 6 years, he knows more than most wholesalers out there. Why? Because it's his entire focus. So what you have to do is stop being the jack of trades and you got to focus and immerse yourself in just one thing. And guys, this applies to anything you do in life. Stop being a jack of all trades. It's a waste of time. Think about how we do schooling. It's ridiculous. You're going to learn a little bit about math. You're going to learn a little bit about English. You're going to learn a little bit about physics. You're going to learn a little bit about geometry. Like, it's crazy. I'm telling you, to become a master in anything, dedicated singular focus and completely immerse yourself in it. Let me give you an example of immersion. A lot of the trainings that I did, if I ever read a book or I watched a video or even if I did a course or anything like that, I buried myself into it. I would lock myself in the room. I'd watch it 9 or 10 times. I would analyze it. I'm the type of person that has to write notes. I still do it to this day. My son makes fun of me. I just write notes like crazy. And when I did that, it changed. It just changed. Like, I don't know about you, but so think about this. If you guys are a Netflix binge watcher, why do you do it? It's like, I get so into it. I feel like I'm there. Take that same attitude and put it in your wholesaling business. Guys, focus and immersion is probably one of the greatest things you can do. And if you're ever in a tough time in your life and you got a challenge, sometimes this is the meditation. This is the medicine that will help you get through it. So we've all been through tough time. Okay. I recently lost my mother and part of my deal is I just immersed myself in my business. I'm like, because I can't fix it. So I just want to keep our mind occupied. Otherwise we go to past thoughts and we get stuck. So if you're going into challenging, if you're completely broke, if you're tired of being lazy, go over to freewholesaling.com and just immerse yourself because I'm not charging you $5,000 for it. So just go, my God, this is a gift dropped in my lap. I don't know how long Zach and Rick are going to do this. I'm waiting any minute for them to put a $5,000 price tag on this course. I'm not going to do that because I'm earning everyone's trust watching this live. And how do I earn your trust? I do what I say and I honor my word. Very rare in our business today. And I commend anybody who backs their word up with what they do. But I'm tired of everybody throwing around free. Most frees are a funnel and you guys are onto it. And I'm just letting you know, we are the ultra free because the idea is if I can get you very efficient in wholesaling, you'll eventually want to do business with me one way or the other. You'll find me. I promise you, you'll find me. I might get in a plane and just travel all around this country and meet everybody. I don't care. So focus and immersion is absolutely amazing. The next one, we're getting now a little bit in the nitty gritty. You have to prioritize your schedule. Here's the deal, guys. Either you schedule your day or your outside environment will dictate it for you. Which are you doing right now? And be brutally honest. So I force myself to use Google Calendar. I know how simplistic it is, but it works. So you can use it on your desktop. You can use it on your dumb phone. I call them dumb phone now because I think it's making us all dumber in a way. But I will tell you, it gives me reminders. I check it. And the key with this is set your day in advance the night before. You have to plan, guys. I'm sorry. If you want to get stuff done and you want to stop being lazy and become rich, if you do not have a planner, you have zero shot. There's no way. Your brain cannot memorize everything you need to get done in a day. So it's free. There's no financial no financial cost to this. Plan your day out, okay? And when you plan your day out, I want you to take down the biggest task first, the one that freaks you out the most. Now, it doesn't mean get up at 5 a.m. and cold call, but prioritize what you need to get done and understand what you need to get done versus just doing menial tasks, like getting a logo done, getting your LLC name. That's not money generating activity. So I'm going to prioritize my planner based on revenue activity, and anything that has to do with marketing, sales is what my primary focus is going to be. End of story. That's how I'm going to do it. You also have to take account if you guys are working. I worked through my first 8 months of doing wholesaling, and I know what it's like. You really got to plan it. I didn't plan it well, and it drove me nuts, and I'm here to tell you. So here's one key you've got to understand whenever you're doing any type of calendar planning. My favorite time, because I was erratic. It took me 2 years to get into this. Okay. Some of my ADHD just flows through because I want to be everywhere at a million times. But the problem is life is weird. So we all like to plan it, but God has another plan for us. So here's what I do is I do 2-hour time block, maximum 2-hour time block. So if I'm cold calling, which I don't, I fully admit it. But if I was making follow-up calls, it's 2 hours. Because if I do that, I'm much more efficient and I don't take phone calls. I don't take messages unless it's an absolute emergency. Take 2 hours because studies show that 2 hours, the average employee gives 2 to 3 hours of work on an average office a day. That's it. So you're 8-10 hours a day. It doesn't matter. Most of the time you're sitting in the water cooler, they're BS and they're surfing the internet. So you guys work for yourself. So do maximum 2-hour block. After your block, take at least a half hour for stuff to get done. Get stuff done. Return phone calls, go to the bathroom, grab a snack, a bite to eat, whatever you need to do. Okay. And then you can set your time blocks. Usually you'll set 3 to 4 time blocks for the day. And then you prioritize those time blocks and make sure they are activities circulating around marketing and sales, because that's what you have to do in the beginning to get it done. So I know this is a bit of a froth over, but I'm here to tell you guys, if you take the steps I just gave you, if somebody dragged me when I was 18, 19 years old and forced me to do that, Mona, how unpleasant, I would have thanked them. I would have said, my God, thank you for telling me this. Now, here's the reality is it's not as easy as it sounds to implement. It sounds easier than it is. But once again, if you go back to the one where I said, stop negotiating with yourself, stop doing it. So this live stream is replayed. Go back and check it out. I need you guys to fix your head. And if you're having negative talks, like, I don't know if I can ever get this done, that's where it kind of starts. So you got to start there. How bad do you really want this? What is your why? What is your belief? Do you have the conviction to get through wholesaling? This process will help you. See, laziness is just a form of procrastination. It's just like, if I don't make a decision, by the way, if you don't make a decision at all, you made a decision. You just don't know it. And you live in this la-la land, and there's nothing worse to me when someone can't make a decision. It drives me nuts, especially in business. Personal, I deal with it. You know what I'm talking about. But I want to be around people that can make a decision. And the really cool thing about me and Zach, we have never centered your decision making around paying us money. But you got to make decisions. You guys got to take a massive amount of action. And so the biggest cure to laziness, if laziness is sitting in motion and doing nothing, what's the complete opposite? It's like, go crazy, break stuff and get it done. I don't care. And that's what it takes in wholesaling. A lot of people are like, I'm going to make 5 phone calls today and get it done. So you guys know we're running the 100 offer challenge. Me and Zach introduced it yesterday. Do it. Use it as momentum, guys. Think about this. You're a plane. Okay. A plane sits in a hangar, is like, it doesn't move. We call that plane lazy, right? Maybe it's fueling up, but when it comes down on that runway, it starts going 1 mile an hour, 3 mile an hour, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100. And before you know, you're flying 400 or 500 miles an hour, 30, 40,000 feet above the air. It's crazy. That plane can't do it without momentum. Why? Because that plane wants to get to a destination. If you want to get there, you're going to have to take action. If you want to freeze yourself. But here's the reality. Laziness doesn't fix the problem. It only makes it worse. So if you're having that problem right now, just take some of these basic actions, look into it. Life's short, enjoy yourself. And the beauty of wholesaling is you get to dictate your day. But when you go to work, you got to work it. You can't just hope you pull up one day and there's a duplex in your driveway. So